You know it's Father's Day just coming next weekend?
I absolutely do.
So I thought, we would save our viewers a little bit of embarrassment of buying Dad the bad tie.
Oh, yes.
Or the socks.
That's right.
And instead, I thought we would list our 5 whiskeys that you probably should buy your father this Father's Day. Before we tell you the 5 you should buy,
you need to tell them about the 5 that they shouldn't
because
buy.
You're going to be tempted to buy some whiskey that's going to be pretty embarrassing. And remember, this is the guy who basically raised you.
So
5 whiskeys you don't buy for Father's Day.
And 5 you should.
Right after this.
So, I'm Zane.
And I'm Jeff.
And this is Hold My Whiskey.
That's right. And today we're going to tell you to hold the whiskey and buy this whiskey instead, basically.
Now, I have some whiskey in my hand.
You do. Hang on.
And you have whiskey in your hand.
This whiskey is the budget bourbon whiskey we said is the best budget bourbon to have right now, which would be...
Elisha.
No.
It's early times.
Early times. Early times. What are you drinking?
I'm actually having a barrel select of Kings County.
Wow, that's a shocker.
It is a shocker.
So, we thought today we would save you the hassle of picking a bad whiskey for Dad, because probably what's going to happen. You know how this works. Somebody hears, oh, Dad likes whiskey and he likes bourbon?
Yeah.
So then they go out and they buy like really crappy bourbon. I mean, then you're stuck with this really crappy bottle that you end up just serving to everybody else, because
it happens.
It happens a lot. So we thought today we would say, okay, these are the 5 whiskeys you shouldn't buy Dad.
Yeah, now this is categorical.
It is categorical,
So this
right?
is actually going to be very useful to you.
That's right. So you do not want to miss all 5 of these.
Because after that, then we give you the real good stuff.
Okay, that real good stuff. So let's start off with the one that we would consider that people usually grab to, because you just suddenly heard that Dad likes Weller's.
Weller's Special Reserve. Let's be frank. Weller's Special Reserve.
Now you heard Dad likes the 107 and the Weller 12, right?
And the Weller 12.
That's what you heard.
You heard that, and this happens to be probably the only one you can find.
It's on the shelf, Zane.
It's on the shelf.
It's on the shelf because every whiskey hipster went out and bought the other ones.
Yeah. So, but this is actually it's a $24 bottle of whiskey.
It's bottom shelf whiskey.
Look, we're gonna say it this way: if you're trying to buy something special for Dad, avoid the green label, because hey, this one's just not what you're looking for.
And just because you looked on the internet and found that some people are selling it for $300 does not make it a good whiskey.
So don't do your purchasing based on prices on the interweb.
Especially because this just means you're desperate.
Yeah.
So instead, we say early time.
Get him early times. The price point is the same.
So about 22, 23 bucks.
But this one is magnifique.
Not to mention, there's more whiskey than in that Weller.
Yeah.
This is a 1 liter.
This is a 1 liter. And the thing is this feels crafted.
That's right. And this was recently purchased by Buffalo Trace, the same guys who actually own every other whiskey that seems that everybody else wants.
In the universe. But
so because of that, it's becoming extremely popular, extremely quick. And this would be a good time to buy it for him, because in the near future, it may be a rare whiskey.
Yeah, rare one, and priced probably another $20 higher. I'm guessing by the end of 2021, we're seriously looking at a $35 bottle.
That's right, because now we rated this one recently on our best budget bourbons as the best budget bourbon.
And because we did that, the prices are going to skyrocket.
That's right, so you better click on this and watch this now.
You better hurry, because when we say something,
once it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, we shouldn't have told everybody that.
Yeah. All right.
So our next one. You may think that Dad loves Conor McGregor.
That's my attempt at
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor.
But just because Conor McGregor makes whiskey doesn't mean you're just gonna want to drink it.
Why?
Because here's the fact that Conor McGregor didn't want his whiskey so bad he sold it. He doesn't even own it anymore. I should tell you something right there.
That hurts.
It does. But listen,
it stings a little.
celebrity whiskey. Shouldn't buy it. I mean, Wolf Moon,
God.
Jason Aldean, but I don't remember rating this one really good. And just about every other celebrity whiskey I've ever had.
There is, now, that which are technically celebrity whiskeys that are legit.
Not very many of them.
If they're like, hey, we have a celebrity, therefore that's how we're gonna market it, shy away from it, because probably it's swill.
I mean, celebrity whiskey right now is like flavored whiskey. Everybody's making one.
Yeah, it's just
And it's made for the palate of anybody.
the flavor of the day.
So if Dad's really a whiskey nerd, right?
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is buy him cheap-ass celebrity whiskey.
Instead, we need to get him
Broken Barrel Cask Strength.
hella good.
Now these guys are doing something a lot different in California. They're coming out of California. They are breaking up barrels and putting the staves in the vat of whiskey, thinking that that will give more flavor to the whiskey. And guess what?
It
does.
It does. Now, to the comments we were getting, I don't know if they're chopping up the barrel and just throwing it in there like that, or how that whole process is going.
So I chatted with those guys over there. What they do a little bit of cleanup to it. But they're not
Okay.
like just completely just stripping the whole thing. That would negate the purpose of it. But those barrels sit around in rick houses. Do you think those rick houses are clean?
Yeah, what do you do to a wound when it hurts? You throw some alcohol on it, so hey.
I mean, so it doesn't matter.
The bubonic plague could be on those barrels, and once it's in the
It's
alcohol,
dead.
it's dead.
The thing is they're doing some really neat stuff, and they're doing some really neat finished barrels too. So I mean, this would be the Cask Strength is a really good whiskey. It's about 116 proof,
And this is good, and it's in a good budget.
and Dad won't disown you when you buy this one.
No, he will not. And this is an attractive bottle. Actually, it's
Yeah. It's not an ugly bottle either. So
yeah, it feels like a good present-worthy
But these guys,
presentation.
I've talked to those guys over there a few times. They really are passionate about whiskey, and I think this would be a good pick.
I 100% agree. Sometimes when you go to get Dad something, you go with what you know.
Or everybody else knows.
Yeah, everybody else knows. And if you go in and you ask a guy at the liquor store, I don't know anything really about whiskeys, but I'm trying to get something from my dad, they're going to be like, well, you need to go with this one right here.
And they usually tell you something like Jack Daniels.
That's right.
But you don't want to buy basic Jack. So a lot of people end up buying Gentleman Jack because it sounds like a step up. It's not a step up.
It's not really so much a step up. What I'm going to say to you is
It's just a step over.
we're not saying that it's bad whiskey.
But everybody gets Jack Daniels.
Everybody has Gentleman's Jack. But get him something that
Says, I love you.
that's right.
I care about you.
And therefore, give him another name whiskey. That name is Russell's.
Now, Russell's Reserve, right?
It is good.
And it's produced by a dad and a son. So it's almost like
It's
celebrating Father's Day in a bottle. And it's great. Now, it's not the cheapest whiskey. It's definitely a little more expensive than Gentleman's Jack.
But not by a whole lot.
No, and the plus side, by the end of the day, you and Dad will be toasting Dad on the back patio with this one.
Really? At the end of the day, Jeffrey?
At the end of the day. Because you don't do it at the start of the day, because then you're an alcoholic.
It just depends on when your day starts. That's it.
It doesn't matter if you crawled out of bed and took a drink.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
But think of it this way, drinking this whiskey is like in the spirit of Father's Day. It's a father and son master distillers producing it. It's perfect.
And this is awesome. And every time I do see this and I pass it up, there's something in me goes,
Why are you passing this up?
why did I do that again? Because I'm always trying to try something new. How many bottles of that have I had?
How many bottles have we all had?
I think I've bought 5 bottles of Russell's Reserve.
I got barrel picks of it in the back of the cabinet.
I'm telling you, it's really legit. It's good.
It's a good whiskey, and it's definitely way better than Gentleman Jack.
Yeah, so if you are into trying to celebrate your dad and you want to give him something special, lots of times you try to get things that
Dad likes.
Dad likes.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what is he like? What's the TV or the movies he's into?
Well, Dad likes
or
Game of
whatever?
Thrones.
Well, we can get Lagavulin Game of Thrones inspired scotch. We can do that.
Johnny Walker,
Yeah,
Game of Thrones.
Game
They had
of
like
Thrones.
5 bottles of that.
Yeah.
Or Dad's into zombies.
There you go. So we go, hey, let's get him Walking Dead whiskey.
Walking Dead whiskey. Whiskey inspired by The Walking Dead. Right?
I mean,
Somebody's like this bottle.
yeah, that was a strategy, by the way.
Is this one of those cases where you got a bottle and you're like, okay, if I put this bottle out, those guests will drink this one over
This
my
one
good
was
whiskey?
purchased to let certain guests know that, hey, I really was thinking of them.
Yeah.
And they are special to me. But they shoot their whiskey.
Yeah, so they don't. This is the perfect shooting.
Yeah,
whiskey.
they shoot their whiskey.
This is like $10.
So because they shoot their whiskey, I provided them a shootable whiskey. Let's put it that way.
So here's the deal. Just because Dad's into something, you don't need to tie that into his whiskey. That's just a bad idea. Most movie tie-in whiskey,
Yeah, not so much.
not so great. So, I mean, stay away from this kind of stuff. Instead, if you really love Dad,
Oh, if you love this dad,
Kings
County. No!
Now, I
This
don't know
sounds
how-
like it's a Kings County channel, but it's
like
not.
it seems like we sponsored by Kings County, which we're not. But hey, Kings County, we'd love to talk.
By the way, I just had your rye.
It's good stuff, huh?
Oh, okay. Back to the story.
Now, this is a small crafter that's been around for a long time, so it's not like they're new to whiskey,
No, it's just new to me.
and they know how to make it. So, I mean, instead of spending $10 on a movie-themed whiskey or a TV show-themed
You
whiskey,
spend that $60.
and now you're giving Dad something that says, I respect the fact that you put up with me all these years
That's right.
and didn't kill me.
And I'm willing to spend money on you because I love you. You know, nothing says I love you, Dad, like a decent priced, legitimately good craft whiskey.
Right. I mean, the last thing you want to tell a guy is after you buy him a $10 bottle of crappy whiskey is you love him, because that just doesn't say, I love you.
It does not.
You know, diamonds say, I love you.
In
Whiskey
fact-
says, I love you too, but not cheap whiskey.
What you're really saying when you give him a bottle of Crown is fuck off.
That'll do it. Here's the other problem. You may be one of them cheap bastards who wants to go out and get away with buying Dad a pair of socks. But we just told you, don't buy Dad socks and ties. You're like, well, what else can I spend $10 on? And you're going to go to the liquor store and you're going to buy whatever bottom shelf whiskey you can buy that's under 20 bucks.
Look, under 20 bucks does not tell him that you love him.
And if you end up giving him Evan Williams bottle and bond, you're basically telling Dad to go fuck himself.
Go and literally, you know.
So don't tell Dad to go fuck himself, and instead buy him something that means I really do care about you. And the last thing you need to do is listen. This guy went to all your ball games.
That's right.
He puts up with your mother.
Oh,
I mean,
stop.
he used to have hair.
Now you're. Wait a minute.
Wait.
Today on This Is Our Life, Jeffrey tells you how it really is.
If you want to continue to be the favorite child in the family, don't buy Evan Williams bottle and bond or
No.
any whiskey under 20 bucks.
That's right. Go over the top.
Yeah, show Dad you really care, and we would suggest,
I would
because
suggest
this bottle always gets us in trouble. Bookers. Now, it's pricey.
this one's pricey. This is $100 bill, y'all.
I remember when it was under 80, and now it's like $100.
Yeah,
it's $100.
it's pricey.
But look at it; it's already wrapped for you. It's in this neat wooden box. It's got a neat little sliding front.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's got the presentation you need, and Dad is going to thank you
and if
for
you
this.
put a bow on this, you don't have to do anything else but just present it to him. He's just gonna be like, "Yep, you're my favorite."
Yeah, you're my fave, and therefore I will impart to you the entirety of my fortune. So this is what you need to give your dad.
Trust us. Don't pick one of those whiskeys we just showed you not to buy.
And get the ones that we said you should buy.
So go grab Dad Booker's. He'll definitely love you more.
Yeah, love him a bit. And until then, be safe and like and subscribe.
And also, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Cheers.
Cheers.